commentary. Mr. Speaker said, Honorable Dr. Biman Prasad had said that government's poverty interventions failed and therefore poverty has increased. Mr. Speaker said, when an academic or researcher makes that kind of statement, that person must produce to us detailed research on the success or failure of each intervention. Wait, Mr. Speaker said, I want to see from Honorable Prasad where is the research for each intervention that government has made to demonstrate that it has failed or is successful. Where is it? Produce it to this House, number one. That's not. Mr. Speaker said, it said that Mr. Honorable Prasad is using that poverty report to say that individual interventions by various ministries failed. Mr. Speaker said, where is? Mr. Speaker said.
Speaker. Point of order, Mr. Speaker. I think the Honorable Minister is totally misleading the Parliament as to what I said. No. I said two things. One, poverty rate has increased compared to the previous survey, and I said that shows that government's poverty alleviation policies, I didn't talk about individual policies, has not worked to reduce poverty. How clear can I be on that? And on top of that, Mr. Speaker, I said that the government must go and do an audit and review those policies to see whether it worked, which policy worked. I said that.
My time.
So for him to totally mislead what I said and what I'm saying reflects very poorly on the minister himself, Mr. Speaker.
I'll leave it at that.
Mr. Speaker, sir? No, I haven't finished, sir. I haven't finished, sir.
All right. You have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, sir, on the second point, I said 2 points. On the second point, Mr. Speaker, sir, any intervention through any ministry, Mr. Speaker, sir, will have an effect. Mr. Speaker, sir, that doesn't mean that if, I hope he understands, if the poverty rate increases, that doesn't mean that the intervention failed. Mr. Speaker, sir, the question is then, without the intervention, Mr. Speaker said, the poverty rate could have been higher. Without the intervention, the poverty rate could have been higher, Mr. Speaker says. Mr. Speaker says. That is why it's totally misleading.
Honorable Minister,
it pains.
Honorable Speaker, I just want to make a short contribution. Number one, we all know that the whole world is grappling with the economic challenges of COVID. The whole world. There are countries around the world that are really struggling big time. I've been privy, Honorable Speaker, to be at a meeting of Pacific Health Ministers, and I can tell you it's a struggle all over the world. There are countries that have chosen to reduce the budgets of the ministries of health because of the economic constraints that they've had. With us, that hasn't happened. We've actually had an increase in our Ministry of Health budget. Honorable Speaker, there are many ways in which government is able to support those who need social protection. And they're not limited only to the Ministry of Social Welfare. There's work being done with the Ministry of Agriculture in terms of the seedlings being given, in terms of the support, in terms of the chickens that are given, the support given through Ministry of Trade, the SMEs that are given. Security is so important in these challenging times. The accessibility to roads and water. These are the many ways that are intersecting. So when one looks, and that's what Honorable Prasad seemed to be insinuating in his debate, that it was only the Ministry of Social Welfare that's actually working around the areas of poverty, and it's not. These are all intersecting in many, many ways to be able to support the work of the Ministry of Social Welfare. They provide the leading role, but all these ministries work together, including what we do in the Ministry of Health. As we speak, the free medicine program registration continues in the West. As we speak, the dialysis center, which is open, which I'll talk about a little bit more at the end of the week, is only $75 for those who are below 30,000. These are the many ways in which government works, and also working hand in hand with the other stakeholders outside of government. One must remember that the stakeholders outside of government take their cue from government's leadership, and they're able to provide and look at ways in which we can map together. Honourable Speaker, one thing that also I'd like to bring to the fore is that when these reports were done, the Ministry of Social Welfare itself and Poverty Alleviation, their budget was actually lesser than what it is enjoying today. The budget kept on increasing significantly over the last few years. And also, Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Ngawako talked about the importance of being inclusive. Honourable Speaker, just a few days ago, I saw a picture of the Honourable Randrondo standing outside, being very emotional. That is not inclusiveness. Inclusiveness is being able to allow everybody to be part, be able to empower everybody and work hand in hand and work together. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable, just take your seats for the time being. Honourable members, I still have 6 speakers on this agenda item, but before we continue with that, which I don't intend to do until after lunch. Honourable members, the list is as follows. Honourable Moses Mbulitawu, Honourable Tikandu Andua, Honourable Nikono Waikula, Honourable Micheli Bulinauda. Those, so be ready when you're called. Honourable members, as you are all aware, the Fijian government has mobilized COVID-19 vaccines for the country, which is crucial to protecting all Fijians from the pandemic and to also prepare our country for when borders reopen. Subsequently, the Fijian government has opened registration to all Fijians who wish to be vaccinated, and on that note, I wish to inform all honourable members that the Ministry of Health officials will be present in the precincts from tomorrow, that is Tuesday, 23rd March, to assist members who prefer to undertake face-to-face registrations for the COVID-19 vaccine. Honourable members are therefore requested to have your birth registration number, which is evident on your birth certificate, on your e-profile account, on the digital Fiji platform. For those honourable members who do not have access to their birth registration numbers, this can be provided on-site by the Ministry of Health and Medical Services once you present your valid ID. Your valid ID is also required to complete your registration. This includes your passport, voter's ID card, joint FFPF, and TIN card, or your driver's license. As leaders who have been elected to represent the Fijian people, I encourage all honourable members to lead by example and register accordingly. Thank you, honourable members. That's on that health note. We will now suspend proceedings for lunch, and after lunch we'll take the speakers in that order in the continuation of the debate. But that is not the final list. There are several others wishing to take the debate. But those of you, Miteli, I have your name and all the others. What's that? We adjourn for lunch.